Welcome to the third largest city in Japan, Osaka. Come along with us as we spend the next 2 days exploring the city to see what it has to offer. We are wrapping up an 11-day adventure touring cities across Japan. Our trip started in Tokyo, where we spent 1 day. We then boarded our first Shinkansen and traveled 2.5 hours across the country to get to Kanazawa, where we spent 36 hours touring this beautiful city. Next, we traveled to Kyoto, where we only had 3 days to explore this iconic city, which was not enough time. We also managed to squeeze in a couple of day trips, one to Nara to visit the bowing deer, and another to the historic Hiroshima. And now we are ending our epic Japan adventure in Osaka, where we will spend our last 2 days seeing what the city has to offer. Let's first talk about getting around Osaka. The Osaka Metro Station is one of the oldest and largest systems in Japan. It was established in 1933 and it has over 130 stations. Fares are determined based on distance traveled, and you can use your IC card, like your Suica card if you went to Tokyo, to pay for your fare. Now, I'll have to say, out of all of the travels we did in Japan, we found Osaka's metro the most difficult to navigate. Directional signage was sparse and it was very confusing. And not only that, but the stations were huge. You could literally walk miles before actually getting to your train. Now, I'm not saying this to scare you, it's just something you should be aware of so you can do a little bit of pre-planning to make your trip easier. Now let's talk about things to do in Osaka. Our first stop, and probably the most iconic, is Osaka Castle. The castle was originally built in the 16th century, but was destroyed and rebuilt several times. The structure you see today was completed in 1931 and is a concrete replica of the original. The castle sits on a hill surrounded by a moat, and its grounds span across 15 acres. So be ready to do some walking, unless you can figure out how to hitch a ride on this little trolley. The castle is one of Japan's most famous landmarks, attracting millions of tourists each year. A tip we learned after arriving was to purchase your ticket online to skip the massive ticket booth lines. You can use your e-ticket to save about an hour of wait time to enter the castle. Inside is an 8-floor museum covering the history of the castle and displaying historical artifacts. I'll be honest, the narrow halls, lots of stairs, and too many people made it a not so enjoyable experience inside. However, the payoff was the observation deck on the top floor. Let's pause for a brief room tour. So you walk right into the bathroom with a shower. Very nice. Oh, hello toilet. Love how it greets you. And a couch. It's our first time having a place to sit at this whole trip. Now that that's over, let's continue on to our next attraction, the Osaka Sky Building. This futuristic skyscraper was built in 1993. Its architecture includes 2 towers with a distinctive sky bridge on the 40th floor that has panoramic views of the city. The 39th floor also features a large gift shop and a small cafe with an extensive beer list and snacks, making it a perfect place to sit and relax and enjoy the view. We stuck around with locals and tourists to watch a beautiful sunset. Now let's move on to our next attraction, Dotonbori. Dotonbori is the tourism mecca in Osaka. You can find entertainment, shopping, and restaurants. Everyone we talked to said this is the place to be and had the most amazing food to try. Well, in my probably very unpopular opinion, it is overrated. While I'm glad I saw it, it was way too crowded, and after an hour, we were just exhausted. I don't know, maybe we just missed the good areas. If you've been here and had a great experience, why don't you leave a comment below and leave some advice for future travelers? Our last attraction to share is the Osaka Aquarium. The aquarium is located about 30 minutes from the main downtown area, and it's in close proximity to Legoland and Universal Studios. The aquarium is one of the largest in the world. While it was busy while we were there, I found it spaced out enough that we could get away from the crowd. And I love that they have several whale sharks. We even paid for a separate experience to go above the tank and watch the whale sharks being fed. One thing I haven't talked much about in Osaka is the food, and honestly, that's because nothing really stood out until our last day. A few blocks from the aquarium, we found a cute restaurant where I had katsu curry, and it made it onto my top 10 favorite meals in Japan. Well, that wraps up our 11-day journey through Japan. We had so many incredible cultural experiences on this trip, and we're so grateful that we're able to travel and share our experiences with you. We started this channel to fill content gaps that we were interested in regarding travel. We truly hope that our videos help you when planning your next trip. Please leave us a comment telling us where you're going to next, and who knows, it might inspire our next trip. As always, if you're enjoying our channel, please give us that thumbs up and subscribe to get notifications of our latest content. Thanks for watching!